Please note that the following story does contain graphic details. The tragic murder of Nontobeko Cele, allegedly at the hands of her fiancé, Sbusiso Ntaka, continues to send shockwaves across the nation. Now, former Police Minister Bheki Cele is visiting the Cele family to offer his condolences and to address the ongoing fight against gender-based violence. Nobuhle Modise is in Umzinto, in KwaZulu-Natal, and joins us live now. I believe that you are with as well the former Police Minister Bheki Cele, Nobuhle.
He is here. We are at the Cele Community Hall here in Waqelo in Umzinto, and a meeting of the Cele Traditional Council has just concluded, and this meeting was to forge a way forward around issues of gender-based violence in the area, as this has sent shockwaves in and around the country, not just this area but everywhere. And so Inkosi here was leading a meeting where they were forging a way forward. We do also have confirmation around the funeral details of Nontobeko Cele. We know that she will be laid to rest on Monday. And now the community is outraged. The entire South Africa is outraged. And with all of this said, we know that Sbusiso Ntaka's death precludes legal proceedings. But everybody's, saying that that doesn't erase the gravity of his actions or the pain that is inflicted on the family, the friends, and the wider community, because he did share images of her lifeless body on social media. But let's perhaps bring in the former Minister of Police, Bheki Cele, and ask him to reflect on this terrible thing that has happened, harrowing. Ndosi, what's your response to Lente Nzakelela?
The problem this time is that the work we do, people forget that basically we're human beings, we are relatives, we have people we love and all that. As you hear this thing, and the nation, as you say, is outraged, remains news until you go to the house and you realize that it's more than news. When you get in the house, you see this 2-year-old, and you realize that that 2-year-old doesn't have mother, doesn't have father. But the worst part of it is that somebody took a decision of taking both mother and father out of a 2-year-old. And you look at everybody in the house, everybody devastated and all that kind of thing. So besides that, this GBV, there are families, there are people that love those people behind the understanding and the theory of the GBV. We believe that as men, as families, I would always say, as I've said, that families, they do need to play a role on this one. Because this is a family, I raised it with it. There were indications, there were signs that things are not going well. So rather than allowing and giving the free role of the young woman to take the decision, they should have protected her to say, this is not the way, because it's not a first big thing that happened. That kind of attempted murder, I'm told, hit her by the car and ran away. It was telling that to his mind, in his mind, he wouldn't mind to see her dead one day. So families, they should also come close to these matters. But broadly, we as men, I think most of us, we must take responsibility, talk to one another, and be there. Once it fits with us, once it sits with us, that the safety of women, not only women and children, you saw the statistics, that the children that are killed, I hear people from the social media talking about that provoked and all. I think it's kind of a nonsensical kind of statement at the present moment, no matter what. Because if you are provoked, life is easy. Turn away and walk away. Even if you walk away forever, that's an easy thing for you to do. Nobody has any form of right to do what has happened, especially worse with a child involved. But lastly, on this one, They lost the child, the Ntaka family. They did not take that decision. It did take the decision. It would be good that families sometimes they come together and they find peace with themselves. Unfortunately, it doesn't look at the present moment that they have come together. But we have found the people and will be available to facilitate such things if it needs be.
Makaya, maybe let us in on the meeting that just concluded here with the Cele Traditional Council on what it is that was taking place here.
Well, there are two things. The council would have been closed by now, but this is one matter. But the other one, the Nkosi and the council, they're trying to work on the festive season. For instance, Christmas and the New Year's, the first, how do they pull together the clan of Cele so that people, they stay safe rather than they're all over the show, going to the beaches. If they can have the events and activities and the festivities where they can come together, enjoy themselves as the Celes, which they believe that it can reduce crime, it can reduce clashes like what happened and all that, to know where so and so is and come together. That's that. But also, as this kind of clan of Cele, they had some problems 2 years ago. They are looking at that. The thing should not be revived. They lost the chief, the father of the reigning chief, on violence thing and all that. They're looking at how do they prevent such things that they don't come back and hound them, that kind of thing. But basically, it was this one. How do they look at it? The few days ago, I think last Sunday, there was a big issue of Nkosi talking to men how to deal with these matters. He was saying, unfortunately, this man, the perpetrator, does not come here, so he could not have benefited from that meeting that they have called. He believes that if maybe he was in that particular meeting, he would have behaved otherwise, which means we're encouraging it, and it's very good that Nkosi can call all of us to try and deal with those matters. So that's a call for all other structures in authority, traditional churches and everybody, and families. It will be good that all of us will put a shoulder on this matter of the GBV.
Thank you very much, Ndosi. You would have heard the former police minister just speaking on this tragic incident that has happened, and quite telling is his, observation there that the family should have played a bigger role, especially when it came to protecting Nontobeko Cele's life after the perpetrator had first, shown signs of wanting to end her life. Back to you in studio.
Nobuhle Modise out in Umzinto there for us in KwaZulu-Natal, covering what is, of course, a harrowing story. Thank you so much for your reporting.